acting class last night actually,
Oh yeah.
and we're doing accents at the minute. So what we do is every 2 weeks get given a different accent. You've got to learn a monologue in that accent
Yeah.
and then perform it. So it's good. It's good because it keeps you, even when you're not doing any acting work, it keeps it refreshed, doesn't it? Keeps you
It
practicing.
does, yeah.
But it was interesting because we was on this. So I said to my teacher, "What is the hardest accent in the UK?" And Geordie always comes up, and then obviously you're Scottish and you're Irish as well. So, but
Scottish accent, yeah.
they
Scott, I
said
think personally,
Nottingham was hard though. Nottingham was on the list of hard because you're sort of in the middle of accents, aren't
it
you?
is. To be honest with you, as speaking as a Nottingham native, I don't think we have an exact specific accent as you know, as you would have in Birmingham, as you would have in London, as you would have in Manchester. I don't think there's an exact specific accent for Birmingham, for Nottingham, because you're right, it is in between things, isn't it? It's like, are you from this part? Are you from that part? It's like even in Essex, if people have a specific accent in there as well. So, what was the accent you were learning last night? This we have to hear.
So last night we had just finished a Yorkshire accent. So we were
Yeah.
doing Yorkshire. So lots of people think they're not like for example, this is a great example. So everyone always says, "Oh, the North, it's all the same," but it's not. So like Manchester's more like, "Aye, oh, you're right. How you doing? Where you coming from?" And
It's
then
top, that is.
top in it, like, and then yeah, I know, right. And then Oldham, sort of Greater Manchester's like, "Aye, yeah, you're right." But then you go to Yorkshire, and it's like, "Hey, bag home." It's proper broad. So we just starting. Our next accent we're starting is a Liverpudlian accent.
Oh, Liverpool. I'm from Liverpool.
That was good. You got it. You got it.
Thank
It's
you.
like there's a lot of slaver in the mouth, so you gotta talk like that. Are you coming down Mackey's for a coke and a burger?
All right, pick a time and a place.
We'll bring our accents with us.
All right.
But
A
yeah, it's
side order of
interesting.
a side order of accents as well. I think the
Literally.
one I think the one accent. Well, what is the one accent you can do best?
Oh,
Other than Manchester, what is the
okay.
one accent you
I
can do?
think my Essex accent's all right because
Go
it's
on, please.
stereotypical. All right, go. Oh my god, babes, that's so nice. You look so fetch. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Go on. What's your bet? What would you say? Well, you said RP or Cockney, didn't you?
I think yeah, Cockney is probably my good one. I'll probably
Go on then, Cockney.
all right, Cockney accent. All right. Hi, I'm Addy. I live down in London. So how you doing, everybody? I do accents for a living. I'm a professional pretender, as they do in London.
That was me. I was talking to a totally different human.
Well, we are actors. We kind of take chameleon. We kind of become like chameleons into other roles, isn't it?
Exactly.
As you were mentioning the Essex accent, I was watching an interview with the actor Chris Pratt, who's famous for being
Yes.
Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy. He can do a perfect Essex accent. I am not exaggerating. He said while he was filming Guardians of the Galaxy in London, and at night, when he'd go back to the hotel, he goes, there was nothing on. He goes, he came across the show called The Only Way is Essex. And over time, he started picking up the accent. And they were saying to him, go on, can you do the accent? We want to hear this. And he goes, oh, this is difficult to do it in a room full of Brits, but I'll give it a shot. And he was like this. Honestly, I saw this guy. He hit the
Go
nail right
on,
on the head.
Chris Pratt. Go on. He's great. I love him. He's brilliant in
Oh
it.
yeah, he's
Absolutely
legend.
brilliant.
Absolutely.
But no,
Best guy.
it's. I think one thing that I've learned about acting classes is no matter what you're doing, keep going to
Yeah.
class. Keep refreshing your skills. You'll learn
Yeah,
something
it's true.
new time and time again. And it's like it's just fun. I think that the whole industry is what you make it. You can be one of those
Definitely, yeah.
people who are working an office job and using every scrap of your holiday to attend auditions or
Yeah.
you can, or you can do all these children, you can go into children's entertainment, go into presenting, whatever it is, just go for it. And the second you stop having fun or you
Yeah.
stop enjoying it or your passion goes, then that's when you know. And we did a show the other week. and there were people in the show that were in the 70s, and they were still doing it because they love it. And you think to yourself, it was brilliant to see. It was brilliant to see.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, it's good. Again, people even at that age, they refuse to give up on themselves, and they're still carrying on doing what they're doing, which is, one of the key important factors of life, just not giving up. And so, how do you prepare for each acting role?
So with acting roles, because now obviously I'm presenting, but let's say I do murder mysteries on the weekends. So
Yeah.
that's always a new character. And so the first thing I do is if I'm given a script or a bio of the character, or if it's for a TV pilot, it doesn't matter. I get my own pen and paper and I have big, those big A3 pads.
Oh yeah,
Get
yeah,
my big
definitely.
felt tip and I break down the character. So, for example, from the text, it'll give me clues. So, where is she from? How old is she? What tone is she? And I'll write her name. Say her name's Sarah. I'll write it in the middle. Then I do a bubble around it. And
Oh
then
yeah,
I start developing, almost like those spider diagrams, all aspects of her personality. And the thing is, if you've been given free reign, for your character, then you can go. So what I do is I find a piece of music that suits my character. So, for
yeah,
example, the last was a 1920s boss, female boss.
yeah,
So I started listening to music from like Great Gatsby, sort of very 20s style, that kind of like club vibe music. So I started listening to that, and I'd go in a quiet room and I'd put my earphones in and I listened to a song. And that song, then, I say the character Sarah, I
yeah, yeah,
start to build her life. So I start from childhood. What kind of place was she brought up? What was her family like? What was her personality like? What clothes did she like? What music did she like?
yeah,
Then I'll move her into her teenage years. And this is all in my mind, this, because if you're given a script, you're not given all of this, but you still need to develop this. So then
yeah,
I move her
definitely.
into her teenage years. What does she like doing? So, for example, my 1920s character, her name was actually Frances. So for for the teenage years, I started to develop her because she wanted to take over the family business. So because of that, she's got a drive for money. She's got a drive for power. So because of
Yeah,
that, I can then extend it to another bubble. So she's driven, she's strong, she's confident, she's a strong woman. Then I moved her into her early 20s. At this point, she's taken over the family business. Do another spider grind. What is she like in her 20s? So now she's taken over the business. She's ruthless. She's money hungry. She's antisocial because she's so
yeah,
busy. So then all of a sudden you have this big spidergram of this character that you've created from the text. And you have created a whole personality that you've built from her childhood. And that's how I prepare her, because I will spend weeks and weeks and weeks doing that backstory. Because if you don't have a backstory, you
yeah.
go right into a play, you don't know where your character's from, what her motives are, what her meaning is, what she wants out of life. You're going in blind. Do you know what I
You
mean?
definitely are. You definitely are because it's like the one of the greatest forms of acting is method acting in it, where you basically strip every part of your own identity of to take on the character, take on the identity of the character you're going to be portraying, like how they eat, how they think, how they sleep, how they walk, how they dress. You basically have to get rid of yourself. I mean, obviously, actors such as Robert De Niro and Christian Bale, who I admire very much myself, they are the true definitions of method acting. It's like when I looked back on their backstories, how they were prepared for certain roles, it's like it's good to see them different in every single movie. It's not the same person. It's Robert De Niro. Oh, it's Christian Bale. It's a completely different person you're seeing every single time, which is great.
Exactly.
Which is the true essence of acting. You are not
Literally.
really you. You're definitely being the other person, which is why it's called acting.
Exactly. And it's all about that prep work, which I think sometimes people who aren't necessarily in the industry don't understand. But one thing I think we should is about zoning as well. So
Yeah,
before you're about to go and play your character, whether it's on TV or film or in theatre, it's so important to zone, to get into your headspace and become that character. And I know some of the big actresses, well, I've heard, like Jill Saran Jones, Dr. Foster, I've heard that
yeah. Which
when
which
she's
show?
on set. to the biggest one ever.
I,
When
I
she's
don't know.
on set,
Yeah,
I've heard, this is only what I've heard. I've heard that she doesn't talk to anybody because she has to stay focused doing her character,
yeah,
which I understand. But what I do is, do you remember, like I said, I'll find a piece of music for my character.
yeah.
Just before I went on stage a few weeks ago for that play, literally moments before I went on stage, I listened to that song, and that song brought me right back into her. But that's only my personal technique, and I just find it works. And some people are different. Some people can just walk right on stage and just go right into it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I remember one role I had to play myself was where I had to play a recovering drug addict, and I had friends who unfortunately had been through harsh times such as that, and I had to go as lean as possible for the role. Like I had to lose like 20 pounds for 20 pounds in about a matter of 3 weeks. I had to just like stop eating and like just shred all the way down. But it was fine because afterwards they got to it paid off. The performance paid off. Walked away with a nice little paycheck, and yeah, they took us out to a buffet right after. I nearly put the place out of business how much I had to eat. But it was worth it. It was absolutely worth it because it's like it showed a lot of some of the best effort ever for this role that I had to play. But it was all fun in the end, which is what was most important to me.
That's it, innit? That's it. But I don't know if you've done it, Ali, but I do it, and it's a bit bad. But you know, when you've got a character, like I used to work in the dungeons at London,
Yeah,
and you have to try and sometimes picture somebody you know and you use
yeah.
them as your inspiration. So I use my dad all the time because he's a proper northern bloke. And
Or
sometimes I'm in the kitchen and I'm just staring at him, like watching how he walks and stuff. Like, do you ever do that? Do you ever just watch people for like inspiration?
you do. I mean, because you need to get an idea of somewhere, don't you? Because obviously, like as I mentioned earlier on, obviously as actors, you need to basically, shift away from yourself, delete. For example, Claire needs to delete Claire and take on the character of, say, Samantha, and Addy needs to strip himself off and take on the role of, Bill, call it
Yeah.
whatever you call it. And yeah, so you have to basically know how Addy knows how, Claire knows how Claire walks, dresses, and everything, but she needs to now know how Samantha needs to walk, dress, eat, and communicate and socialize with other people. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's all about
literally.
you have to do that because it's like you have to basically find that inspiration. Like, how can I do this? Like, go outside and do some research. If you're going to play a gang member, I've seen actors who sometimes get in with gangs to see how they behave and how they talk to each other and the kind of the chaos that they cause along the way.
Yeah, literally. It's all about, and you've got to be careful because sometimes you find yourself staring at people for inspiration. And I don't know if you've done it yet, but have you been brave enough to, because I know lots of actors do it, because we're talking
Yeah.
about method acting, to walk into, let's say if you're doing the London accent, to go to London and to go and order a coffee or whatever in an actual Londoner's accent to a Londoner. I always imagine if I do that, it takes a lot of confidence.
It does, but they have to sometimes like hear as well the fact that oh, they're not from out of town. Yeah, they are local people as well. But no, I haven't done that yet because obviously. But sometimes when I do go to like coffee shops around here, you sometimes I don't know what it is. Sometimes an accent just jumps out of you, and it's not your own accent, but they're like, "You're not from around here." No, I'm not from around
And
here.
then you have to keep going with it, or else you look like a nutter.
I think that ship set sailed a long time ago in my case.
If you're in this industry, whether it's at kids performing, whatever, you've got to be a little bit crazy.
You have to, but it's a good kind of crazy, I would say, Claire.
It's the
It's
best
definitely.
kind of crazy. It's the best kind of crazy. But no, I think the one thing that I don't like though, and you'll know this because we were at our agents, weren't we, a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
getting our headshots redone. I'm so it's weird because I'm very confident, but when it comes to headshots, that's that camera that I
Yeah.
never seem to get it right. It's a hard thing to do because you're like,
Yeah.
okay, just look natural.
I said natural, not crazy. Yeah.
Oh,
That was yeah. It was a great experience that day. I actually on the way out, the person who's coming in after me, we actually did an act. We actually did the Gillette advert together. I didn't realize it was. He goes, oh, the guy called Eddie coming in, and I was waiting for it. I was like, I think I might know this person. Turns out I did knew who he was. He just turned up, and yeah, he was just as kind as he was as I met him all them years ago. And he was like, we kept in touch, and yeah, he was really one of the coolest people I had the opportunity of working with, and I hope to work with him again, and as well as yourself and everybody who works at the agency. It's great to have people with that sort of support and that mindset that you carry as well.